In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because all of us on the panel are from the same generation, even though there's only two of us tonight. We happen to think that it's the best generation, too, by the way. Not because we're better than you, we're not stuck up like that, but our movies, well, okay, we're a little bit better than you. Okay, David thinks he's better than you. But our movies certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore, while simultaneously complaining about the stupid, dumb poo-poo doo-doo that Hollywood keeps pumping out. But it's been an interesting week. There's a bit of change in the winds, and there's a lot of news to cover about Hollywood shifting gears.
Yeah.
So we might have to cancel this show, David, or rebrand, because it looks like Hollywood is finally getting the message. Oh, yeah.
We shall see.
This stuff sucks, and no one's watching it.
Yes. Well, if you pulled up that article I sent you today,
I already had it, but yeah.
Still may not have gotten the message, but we'll see. Things are starting to turn.
We've got some good TV to talk about. We're watching Silo, and I didn't watch every episode, but we watched a couple episodes from Secret Level, which were pretty good. 24-hour-a-day Conan streams. We were not playing Conan without you, Mark. I haven't played since we streamed Friday night.
We did that last stream, yeah.
Well, after we ended the stream on Friday, I did keep playing for a bit, but it was boring stuff. I was just base building, and I was listening to a book, and I kept playing not because I wanted to keep playing, but because I wanted to keep listening to the book, and I may have stayed up all night.
Yeah. It was kind of funny because we were streaming the game with Mark, and he had the server reset at midnight, and we said, "Hey,
all right, let's go to bed.
We should change this so it doesn't reset at midnight. It reset at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Because there's no reason why we'd ever be playing at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And we both stayed up, keep grinding away till 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh dang, it's 5 o'clock. I guess
he fixed it. He fixed it. It does reset at 5 o'clock now. The server got reset twice on me that night.
Yeah, once at midnight and then once at
because I was still playing, but I would have stopped playing a long time ago if I hadn't also been reading, and I couldn't put the book down. I read Orson Scott Card's Lost Boys in one sitting, and I couldn't stop. It was fantastic. Nice. It's a short read too. It's a short book, and I loved every second of it. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, you read me the first opening paragraph, and it made me very uncomfortable.
It's very yes. It's a and but that's not the whole book though. So the
Yeah.
premise of the book is the first the the prologue. It's a page and a half. Is inside the mind of a really really bad guy, like a criminally disturbed serial killer, and it explains like why he does what he does. And then the rest of the book is just family stuff. So the first chapter just like, this is disgusting. Wow. And then the rest of the book, it's a family moving to a new town. He's got a new job, and kids are going to school, and they're trying to adjust to life in this new town. And it's just regular stuff. It's really good family drama. There's some really cool like work politics, and it's shockingly engaging. Like on paper, if I describe to you like the plot of the rest of the book, it's like, oh, that sounds like an awful book, right? But it's really, really well written. But the reason why it's so good is because the whole time you're like, one of these people is messed up. So the family moves to a new town, and every time they meet a new person, in the back of your mind, you're thinking,
"Is this the guy?
Is this the first guy? Is this the one we were reading about in the first chapter?" And it's really no, it's not the Peter Pan, not Peter Pan's Lost Boys. Different kind of it's boys who are lost. Boys keep disappearing in the town, and it's very very creepy. So it's some really good family drama. It's really creepy, and the ending is devastatingly beautiful. I wanted to go to bed, but I couldn't because I cried for 3 hours after I finished. And I don't cry at everything. Like I don't cry during the Titanic. Okay, I laugh during the Titanic. I don't cry at Romeo and Juliet. I laugh at Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet's overrated.
Romeo and Juliet is a comedy. It's better if Shakespeare wrote it as a comedy. He was it wasn't an example of how romantic young love is. It's a criticism of young love and how stupid it is. And if you read it knowing that that's how he wrote it, it's hilarious. I love Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, right? It fixes Hamlet for me, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, Hamlet's good.
Hamlet's
right?
It's though. So you're kind of stupid, but
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead just elevates Hamlet. You know, before I read Hamlet, I'm like, all right, it's okay. And then I read Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. I'm like, okay, this is awesome, and Hamlet is so much better because of it. Anyway.
I like Rosencrantz, but Hamlet's way better. I don't know what drugs you're on. I had you over for dinner and I didn't spike the punch, so I don't know what you're doing. Lost Boys. It's interesting because if anyone watching, David and I, we're both members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and or Mormons, as lots of people like to call us. Yeah. But the characters in the book are also members of the church, but it's not what it's about. Like, so that's not the reason why I like the book. Like, I think the book would be actually more interesting to read as someone who's not a member of our church, because it kind of adds to the eeriness of the story. Like, it's more personal to me because I understand, a lot of the main character's psyche and how he thinks, because we have the same religion. But not knowing anything about the church, I think, would make the book even better, because, some of the things we do are kind of weird, and it adds to like the eeriness of this, like this family moving to this really strange town. Yeah. I highly, highly recommend Lost Boys. Yeah. But we got some news.
You read the prologue to me, and like I said, it very creepy, but I was amazed at how the prologue is not. It doesn't use very descriptive language, but the way he says it, you know exactly what's going on, and it is.
Yeah.
It makes you uncomfortable, and it was just very well written.
Oh yeah, people love. It's kind of crazy how many TV shows there are about cult Mormons, and you're like, yeah, we kicked those guys out of the church, you know, like they're weird to us too, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really popular to make fun of the church, but it's fine. We can take it. We got thick skin. Yeah, news. Lots of news.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in a cult either, but yeah, I guess that's what they all say, right? Yeah, no, the weird stuff you see on TV, those they may have started off as members and they were excommunicated immediately.
Yeah.
We are not very weird.
The only exception is the newer Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and half of those probably should be excommunicated.
Yeah, I think they just, you know, it'll probably, you know, if they're airing their sins.
Yeah.
I don't think the church even knew about them before the shit, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess we better kick these guys out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Disney executives reveal why The Acolyte was canceled after one season. It wasn't where we needed it to be given the cost. Doesn't everybody know this? Didn't we already? This isn't news, right?
Yep.
We all know that the show sucked, and that it cost a bunch of money.
And it cost too much money, yeah. But did you actually read this article?
No, I didn't, because you were at my house and you sent it to me 10 minutes ago, and I pulled it up.
I'm sorry, I pulled this one up earlier in the week, and
Mark Clark's been a member for 26 months. Wow. That's a lot of members. Not a lot of dollars, though, because it only costs $1 a month to become a member.
26
99 cents. If you want to become a member like Mark Clark, you can be almost as cool as him. For 99 cents, you get access to emojis. You get access to early videos. There's some videos that have been members only for a month now, and we're going to release them in January. Yeah. And you get early access to my meme edits if I'm uploading them and waiting for copyright strikes to clear and stuff like that. And you get to sleep at night knowing that you're helping feed my kids. So, David, yes. Yeah. You sent me the article.
Yeah, so I didn't read the whole thing, but I skimmed through it, and it's not just this this headline he talks about. He talks about another reason why it failed.
It's because it sucked?
Was because of the ultra-conservative... I don't know. Scroll down. I don't remember.
Oh, did we hurt the show?
The ultra conservative backlash and the racists that were just assailing it. I just didn't.
I don't remember any racist backlash because this was an original story, so there aren't any racist arguments, right? This wasn't taking a white character and recasting it as with a black actor.
They like to have that card and play it, even if it doesn't apply.
There was nothing racist. I made. I never finished my video on the last episode. It's like 90% done. No, it's like 70% done. I need to go back and finish it. I made a bunch of videos on the Acolyte. There are so many things to complain about. The race of the character has never come up once.
Yeah.
Her acting has. Okay.
But yeah, so basically, it didn't make enough money.
They're happy with the performance. Okay, so they're idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't. So how can you be happy with something that isn't where it needs to be?
They're happy with what they made. They're not happy with how it performed, and they're blaming on the performance that it didn't make enough money to recoup.
They said they're happy with the performance, David.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So they're just morons.
Yeah, you're right. They're morons.
Look, this literally this says nothing. We're really proud of it, but we're not proud of what it is.
Yeah.
We're proud of it, but it sucks. So it's canceled. This sentence means nothing.
Yeah.
She's going to play Mother Teresa on Netflix? Yeah, I could see that. Oh, dang it. I keep reading comments on YouTube and then I can't pull. There we go. See? That wasn't from me. Upon the series cancellation, Amanda Steinberg posted an 8.5-minute video to her Instagram stories where she was unsurprised that Disney didn't renew following the aggressive online backlash surrounding the show's female-driven story and queer undertones. Yeah. Because it sucked.
Because you're advertising that as the message more than actual good story content.
I don't give a crap if you put female-driven... I'm a fan of a lot of female-driven stories that are, if they're good.
Yeah.
But yours sucked. Look, I personally am not a fan of homosexuality in general, but I don't have a problem with people telling queer stories. And there are some instances, if it's done well, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I really liked Modern Family.
Right.
I watched that entire series.
Modern Family's hilarious.
They have
Captain
a gay couple in there, but it's not. That's not the message. It's just about the family relationships, and yeah, there happens to be a gay couple in there.
Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine is probably the best character in the show.
Yeah, that's true too. Good example.
I'm watching.
Again, the character is not. He's gay. That's not his only. Character trait. They don't build the whole thing around, oh, this person's gay and this is wonderful, and the story doesn't revolve around that. It's just, that's how you write good characters. You just write normal people.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm watching Shrinking on Apple TV, and the gay character, gay best friend, whose name I can't remember. I don't remember anyone's names on the show.
Yeah.
Because I know, because I just know.
Is that show good? I've been curious about it.
It's pretty good. But the gay character, he's the best. He's the funniest one on the show. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
As long as you're not putting it in children's media,
right,
and promoting it and trying to brainwash kids into that kind of lifestyle, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just don't try and whitewash other media. Don't try and hijack other stories,
right,
and race swap them and inject your rewrites.
Yeah.
And again, and this was hijacking Star Wars franchise, right? But it was at least an original story within the Star Wars, right? Until it started screwing up lore.
Yeah.
Because it's a prequel. At least they were trying to tell their own story. So, these weren't any of our criticisms.
Right.
Our criticisms was the show sucked. It was a garbage show.
Yep. Plot lines made no sense. The characters.
It's not shocking for me. Any criticism at all of the show is because of bigots and homophobes and racists and fascists. So I'm not surprised that they canceled our show, because our show was hyper. Yeah, I see. Okay, I didn't even read it. Bigotry, vitriol, prejudice, hatred, hateful words against us. No. Everyone I disagree with is Hitler.
Yeah.
Conservative bigotry. Oh, hyper-conservative bigotry. Look, I'm hyper-conservative, and I am not a bigot. Your show was horribly written
And acted.
and horribly acted. Yeah, it's not a surprise that you would use this as a defense. I can't be criticized. I am the science. You can't question anything I do. I am the actor. I am acting as a concept.
I am all the Jedi, you might say.
I am
Yeah.
all the Jedi.
But then they go on to talk about Skeleton Crew. Is hey, the Skeleton Crew has performed better than Ahsoka, and I don't know if it's been better than Ahsoka, but they said it's better than the Acolyte. And like, at least we're seeing an uptick.
From what I've heard, it's because it's a better show.
Well, only
I
because
I haven't watched it because Star Wars is dead to me, and I don't care.
The only praise that I've seen from it is that it's got Jude Law, and Jude Law is awesome.
Right.
That's the only
I've
heard.
No, I've heard people liking the show. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks really bad to me. It looks.
I mean, there's a reason I'm not watching it, but I've heard diehards say it's good, and I've heard kids say it's good.
Well, we'll see.
It's a kids movie. Look,
yes, we won't see because I won't see it.
Star Wars it's literally dead to me. I do not care about the franchise, which is the saddest thing to admit because I loved Star Wars.
Same here. I held on for a lot longer than you did.
Ahsoka I couldn't even finish it.
Ahsoka was better than the other one.
Yeah, but not by much. And by then it was just too much.
I think it was a lot better than Kenobi and Boba Fett and
yes,
Mandalorian.
I agree, and I still hated it. And that was the first one I couldn't finish.
Yeah,
I forced myself to finish the other ones, and Ahsoka was just more of the same, a slightly better production value, but still just garbage storytelling.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's why I say that Disney still hasn't learned because
they
at least they're admitting though that it wasn't a success.
Is this coming from Disney though?
The first quote was from either the executive or the showrunner, right?
Co-chairman of Disney Entertainment, Alan Bergman said.
Right.
Okay, so he's an idiot, sure. But
well, the quote they pulled was from the actress Amanda Seyfried or whatever.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was an old one.
Right.
So, but going the other way though, Disney, they didn't just cut the storyline; like they announced that they cut the storyline.
Yeah.
It wasn't just silently. This wasn't like leaked. Like, oh no, I'm an insider on the show, and it turns out they're trying to destroy my narrative by cutting out all the stuff I put in there. Like this was like an announcement. Like, hey,
yeah,
we removed this entirely from the series, from Win or Lose, a show about winning or losing, and there was going to be a big transgender plot in the show. This is Pixar's first TV show, and they made this statement. So this is not a leak. This is a statement from Disney.
Right.
When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. Yes, that's what we've been saying this entire time. It's not bigotry, okay? We just want to teach our kids our own values. This is the opposite of what Disney said in Florida.
Yeah. Well, this is
when they renamed the anti-grooming bill the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Yeah. Well, this is more along the lines of Bob Iger or one of the Bob, whatever Bob's in charge. I don't know.
One of the Chapek or Iger, whatever it was.
Whoever's in charge now said that they want.
Salty doesn't give a crap about Silo. Well, we haven't started talking about it, but I want. Thanks for saying Merry Christmas.
Right now, we're just talking news.
But
yeah, he came back and he said that there's been people trying to prioritize a message more than story, and we're going to get back to doing story. So I do applaud them for doing this, but they also said that the character is still in the film or in the show. It's just not going to be a plot that they talk about. So there still is a trans kid in the show.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I applaud them for taking that out and realizing that we don't want that crap in our show.
Yeah.
But they're still taking a step back to just normalizing this kind of crap. In the
Silo's actually pretty good. It's one of the most faithful book adaptations. Like I had issues with it, especially with season 2, and this episode specifically fixed everything for me.
Yeah,
like
it issues that you've been airing.
The issues that I had, it turns out was all just they had to stretch it out, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, Looney Tunes. So thanks for the $2. You don't. Hey, it's fine. Don't have to care about it. I'm just saying it's not a bad show. It's I'm impressed with how well they've adapted it. Yeah. Has anybody checked on it's like 90% faithful to the books right now. It's impressive to see an adaptation this faithful. Yeah. You don't have to like the show. You don't have to watch it, but I'm just impressed that they've stuck this closely to the books. Yeah, he's been very busy. Yeah. He's working on his house, and he also has a new job that's hard for him. So
he's working.
We're hoping he can come back. I would love to hear his reports on Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I keep talking to him every now and then. We're trying to do a video chat with him for
we'll get him
a couple months now, and he hasn't. He's been real busy.
We'll pressure him to. How many more episodes of Skeleton Crew are there? I don't know because I don't care.
Not sure,
but
we should find out when the finale is and have him on to
see. It aired.
Talk about it.
It aired on the 3rd, so it's probably a ways to go. But yeah, I do want to hear his reporting. Just don't.
We're not going to have anyone to have another opinion on it, but.
Glad you like it. Just don't say you like the Superman trailer or all right. Yeah, I saw the Superman trailer. I decided not to make a video on it.
One shot in the trailer that looked decent.
Yes. Superman. I know. Obviously, you're talking about the shot where Superman flies in and curls around the kid.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
As those gas tanks are flying at him.
Yeah,
fantastic shot. There wasn't a single thing from the rest of that trailer that excited me, and I actively gagged when the Green Lantern showed up on screen, and that was the one thing I was excited for.
Yeah,
was Nathan Fillion cast as the Green Lantern was like the perfect casting, and then he showed up in the trailer, and I vomited in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. Like the haircut's ridiculous, but it's accurate to the comics, to the Guy Gardner version. But it needs to be a shade or two darker because it's the same tone as his skin tone, and it looks terrible. But anyway, but yeah, and I freaking hate Crypto. Like Crypto's such a stupid character. I don't care. I'm not a dog person, but even if I were,
I fully understand it's comic book accurate. And guess what? A lot of comic books suck.
Yeah.
And I love comic books. Okay? I don't give a crap about Crypto. No. And that's not just because I'm not a dog person. Okay? It's just not good storytelling.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he also had a pet dog when he was on Krypton, and the dog was also in a spaceship that flew to Earth, but it didn't get there later. And now he has a dog that can fly. It's dumb. It's dumb.
I don't think the trailer looked awful. It was okay. There were things I hated in it. There wasn't the only thing I loved from the trailer was the one shot. I still think just about everyone in the show is miscast. Like I don't see like this specifically. I think this is just goofy as heck. I don't think he's charming as Clark Kent, and I don't think he's commanding as Superman. And I fully understand we haven't seen any of his performance yet. And I could be totally wrong. Like, I'm going to go into the theaters. I'm going to give this movie a good shot. Okay? Yeah. I don't even if I have an internal bias before something comes out, and I don't think I always the second I sit down, I clear everything.
Yeah, and honestly,
from my mind,
sometimes I
even did that for Rings of Power. Okay,
yeah,
we saw the writing on the wall with Rings of Power, and I was making videos clowning on it up until its release. But then I sat down and I watched the episode, and I voided my mind of everything.
Yeah, but
and I analyzed it.
Sometimes, honestly, that gives movies a better chance. If you think it's going to be bad and it's not bad, you're like, "Wow, that was actually pretty good."
Yeah. I just think he's a goofy Superman, and I dislike his Clark Kent more than I dislike the Superman.
I don't know. I did like the shot of him coming into the Daily Planet as Clark Kent because he's like hunched over, and that's what they did in the comics. They specifically talk about several different artists talk about when they draw him as Superman, he's more upright.
There you go. That's a good. That's
over and nerdy.
This is a great argument. The whole like, oh, it's Guy Gardner and he's comic book accurate. I get it.
Yeah.
It's still stupid, okay? And if you're doing the 80s Guy Gardner with the awful haircut, then do 80s Superman. Actually, that would be kind of awesome to do a Superman period piece. It felt one of the things that really turned me off from this trailer was all the cell phones. Everyone holding up the cell phones and recording Superman. And I fully understand that if you're doing a modern-day Superman, that's a reality.
Yeah.
People are going to pull out their smartphones and start recording him. It left a really sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And it probably isn't going to be an issue like in the movie, but it's just seeing that trailer just like... It aged the film instantly, even though the age is right now. It's not going to be as timeless, and I get that that's a weak argument because, the old movies are aged too. They're of their time. But it was really weird. There was something just off-putting about the shots of humans looking up. And my biggest problem with the entire trailer isn't even these nitpicks. It was the tone. Yeah. The entire marketing to this before the release of the trailer is, we're going to do Superman differently. We're going to do Superman based on hope. And it's going to be hopeful and look up, which I was excited when they released the poster. It was like, look up. I was like, okay, this could be good. This could be an optimistic Superman. And this trailer just looked like Zack Snyder's. There are so many parallels. This just looked like Zack Snyder's Superman 2. It's people mad at Superman, throwing things at Superman. He never smiled once in the trailer. The trailer starts off with him bleeding on the ground. I didn't.
It even looks like Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, is about to pick some beef with Superman, right?
Yeah.
And then the one shot with them, with him talking to Lois Lane while there's a big alien thing in the back. He looks completely defeated, like he doesn't want to go and save the world.
I know a lot of people like the dog too, and that's fine. It does not work for me, and I think it's hard to put a superpowered dog into a story and not make it just extremely goofy.
Yeah,
it's really hard to write that into a story and keep the story serious. And that was my biggest problem with James Gunn doing Superman is I don't think he's going to take it seriously. I think he's really good at making Guardians of the Galaxy movies, except for the third one, which absolutely sucked.
Yeah.
I think he's good at doing the underdog stories. He's really good at doing the uncomfortable comedy stuff. And that's not what Superman is supposed to be. That's why I don't like
what Clark Kent is supposed to be, but
this feels like CW. This image in particular, I know it's not from the trailer, but it's so awkward. CW caliber acting.
It's looking right at the camera too.
Yeah.
It's just like too on the nose. Although I do like that they got the Jerry curl back.
Said the exact same thing.
The last couple Superman have not had the Jerry curl.
Yeah, I'm not convinced of the corn sweat yet. I really, really dislike the Lois Lane casting. I've seen her in a few things, and I think she's wrong for Lois Lane. I was excited for Nathan Fillion.
Lex Luthor I thought was okay.
Yeah.
He was a good casting. But
Nicholas Hoult is fantastic
Other than that,
in just about everything he's done, and I think it might take some getting used to, but I think he might be a good Lex Luthor.
yeah, he was a better Lex Luthor than what's the other young actor that did that?
Than
Social Network
Jesse
guy.
Eisenberg.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was. I don't think his performance was bad. I think his character was bad.
yeah.
I think he gave as good of a performance as he could, and it was weird.
Probably.
And he never should have been cast as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But yeah, the casting is a miss, and the tone right so far from what they've shown is a complete miss for me. Warner CEO sold 30 million in stock before the trailer dropped.
Yikes! That shows confidence.
The movie, yeah, it's bitter. Superman hates his life and loses a fight. Why? Yeah, that's. I don't know. What a lot of people are speculating is this is an early because from what we know, what they've said about the show is that Superman will be entering a world where superheroes already exist. It's kind of a reverse Kingdom Come, where the current superheroes are bad and the new superheroes are going to come in and clean house instead of the retired superheroes coming back and cleaning up their, the new guys who are just awful. Great comic.
Okay.
So Superman is coming into a universe where there's already superheroes and they're not very good. So it could be early stage Superman where he's not like full powered yet. He's not completely invincible. He's still growing in strength, and so that's why he's bleeding. Which could be interesting. I think we got a little bit of that in like Smallville,
Yeah.
which I never watched all of, but it could be interesting to see a not completely invincible Superman. I don't think that that's a bad choice. I think it's an interesting choice, and you have to do it right.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you definitely have to do it right. And be careful with that. But from what I've seen from the trailer, it just seems like, they're spitting on Superman.
yeah,
But we'll see.
I'll give it a shot. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I don't think it's gonna be good, but I'll give it a fair shot. I always do. And I've been wrong before, and I've fully admitted when I'm wrong. I was wrong. I was completely wrong about. I was half wrong about Spider-Man: No Way Home. I was completely right that the plot was retarded and stupid, but I enjoyed the movie anyway. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just because of the performances, the characters were good. What was the other one I was wrong about recently, David? There aren't very many times, but I
don't know if we've talked about it, but you said Inside Out. You wouldn't see Inside Out in principle, but the reviews have been really good and not woke at all.
I still haven't seen it.
When
did I say that?
I don't know. Well, just your review of the original Inside Out.
Oh, I haven't seen Inside Out 2. I don't think I don't think the first movie is good for kids to watch. I haven't changed my mind on that.
Yeah. And
it's not smart. It's not smart to tell kids that they are not in charge of their own emotions. Yeah. I think that is an idiotic premise for a kids movie.
I agree that's what you can infer from it, but
True, you did. It was. I admitted that you made a funny joke on stream on Friday. That's what it was.
I don't even remember the joke.
It was the metaphor for a brotherhood, but it was it was treating brotherhood like a marriage relationship.
Oh, all right.
I was going on for a really long time, and you had a good button. You fixed the button for my joke, and it was good.
Yeah.
You brought it to a natural climax, and it was hilarious. What were we talking about? Oh, Yeah, so Superman. You thanks, Salty, for completely derailing the stream. Normally it's Mark that does that.
Yeah.
We were talking about Disney and taking a transgender story out of Win or Lose. I think that was pretty much done, but they took it. So I agree with you that they haven't quite learned the right lesson yet, because this is like them backtracking, like, oh, we're not doing it because we don't want to be woke. The term woke is thrown around rather liberally, Iger said. I think a lot of people don't even understand what it really means. No, we know what it means.
Yeah.
We've taken your word and we've turned it into an insult because of how stupid it is.
Yep.
Okay.
It still means the same thing.
I get that you think it means something different. And that's not what we're referring to when we commandeered the term woke. Okay? I hate that because I get that argument all the time. You don't even know what woke means. Woke is this. And you're like, yeah, that's the point. Like I know I'm using a different definition of woke. The bottom line is that infusing messaging as a sort of... Wait... No one knows what it means. The bottom line is that infusing messaging as a sort of a number one priority. Is that the bottom line is that
one priority.
That
It's
infusing messaging as a sort of a number one priority in our films and TV shows. Guess what? That's what woke means. Is not what we're up to. That's what you've been up to.
Yeah.
They need to be entertaining. Okay, so he gets it. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. Focus on the story, not the messaging.
Yep.
That's the opposite of what you've been doing. He's just, oh, that's not what we've been doing. We want to focus on the story. People don't even know what it means. That's what we're saying it means. You just said what we've been saying. So I think we know what it means. Stop playing word games and just accept criticism. Oh, they bring it up. CNN brought it up.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Wait a second.
Yeah. And they give them credit. They say,
after Florida enacted a law that Florida didn't label, critics labeled "Don't Say Gay." Bob Chapek reluctantly stood behind the legislation. Ignited a wave of backlash from right-wing media figures who portrayed the company as a woke organization seeking to groom children. Because it wasn't a Don't Say Gay bill, it was an anti-grooming bill.
yeah.
So that's why people did this. That's when I added the P to the end of the letters. The LGBTP agenda. Because you literally took the P's and you adopted them into your group in 2022. That was your decision, not ours.
Yep.
God forbid we portray the company as woke. Because they have the audacity of grooming children. Because that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
When you take a bill that's sole purpose is to keep sexuality out of schools, not even all schools, okay? The bill was up to fourth grade. I could be wrong. It was fifth,
third or fourth.
It was 3, 4, or 5, and I tend to think it's lower. It was, you are not allowed to talk about any form of sexuality up until 5th grade, 4th grade. It was really, really low. That's all the bill did.
Yep.
It had nothing. Nowhere in the bill did it say the words "don't say gay." It said you're not allowed to talk to kids about sex. That's all the bill was.
Yep.
And you took that bill and relabeled it. This is a bigoted bill. Well, if that's true, who would it be bigoted against? Not the not the L's, not the G's, not the B's, not the T's, and not the Q's. The only possible group it could be bigoted against is the P's.
Yep.
If that's bigotry, I'm all in. We don't know what woke means. You don't even understand the definition of the word. I think we understand it better than you do. I like, what is this? Let's see.
So then it says, Bob Iger came back and made it clear that the creators have lost sight of their objective.
I like being able to do that, entertain. And if you can infuse it with positive messages and have a good impact on the world, fantastic. But that should not be the objective. Yeah, that's what we've been saying for years. Kind of sounds like we understand the definition of woke. Screw you. When I came back, what I've really tried to do is return to our roots, bullcrap, which is remember we have to entertain first, and it's not about the messages. Okay, put your money where your freaking mouth is, please.
Well, this is the start of it.
I would also say the T's. Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's true.
A large percentage of them just so happen to also be P's for some reason. Not all of them. But you got to look at the statistics.
But there are people on both sides.
Fine people. There's fine people on both sides of the T's. Okay?
Yeah. So we'll see. I think this is a good step, but I don't believe him. And again,
I don't for a second believe that they're repentant.
Right.
I believe that they're scared.
Yeah. Exactly.
I believe that they're sorry. They're sorry they got caught. They're not sorry that they acted poorly.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
It's a big difference between, between regretful remorse and what's the other kind of remorse? Yeah.
It's typically in the religious discussions of godly sorrow and worldly sorrow.
There you go. Sure. There's a secular term for it too, which is regretful remorse and it's are you sorry that you got caught or are you sorry that you misbehaved?
Right.
There's a big difference. And I can't remember the other term for it. I was trying to sound smart, and now I sound like a stupid dum-dum. But not as dumb as Disney sounds. Mufasa dropped this week, David.
I thought that was a beginning of next year release.
Nope. No. What's great? I love that the movie is called Mufasa: The Lion King. In case you didn't know that this was a Lion King movie, because anyone it just shows how desperate they are. Like, David, you've seen The Lion King, right? Do you think that there's a soul? Do you think that there's a soul on Earth that doesn't know that
Mufasa?
That if the movie was just called Mufasa, people would know it's a Lion King movie, right?
I don't know. I mean, it could be some like random king in Africa, some tribal tale of no. Yeah, everyone knows who Mufasa is. Lion King is the greatest animated film of all time, and it is watched in our house constantly.
Yes. I know I've told the story before, but my favorite memory is when a few years ago,
Yeah.
you guys came over, and I hadn't showed Elliot the live action Lion King because why? Because I'm a good father. And your
Our kids
kids,
had just seen it on Disney Plus.
let's watch the Lion King, and my son was like, "Yeah, I love that movie." And your kids, because they're degenerates, turned on the Lion King live action.
Yeah.
And my son started crying. He's like, I thought we were going to watch The Lion King. And I've never been more proud of him. And I'm like, that's exactly the problem, my boy. He said the same thing. He said the same thing when he was a lot significantly younger. He was like maybe 4. And my dumb college friends came over and we watched the Mario Brothers movie, the live action one.
The original one?
Which is, I unironically love that movie. Like, it's hilarious and an awful adaptation. But when he was super, super young, we started watching that and we were just laughing the whole time because it's so bad. And he was watching it with us and said the same thing. He's like, I thought we were going to watch a Mario movie. And we all just looked at him and said, yes, that is exactly the point.
Us too, son. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought we were going to watch the line. This is no. Yeah, okay. When it was Mario, he said, I thought we were going to watch a Mario movie. And for the Lion King, he said, this isn't the Lion King. And I was like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
That is my boy.
To be fair, my kids, when they see a new movie, they like to watch it, a couple times over. But they have since reverted back to the original animated classic, and I don't think they've watched the...
Right. My question is, why would you show your kids the Lion King reboot?
Because we watch it together as a family.
Right.
A family movie night.
Why?
We paid for Disney Plus.
Right. Okay. Why?
For fun.
We
haven't seen it yet. We went and we saw it as a family together on Disney Plus for a family movie night.
Uh-huh. And that was fun?
Sometimes it's fun, yeah. Last night we watched Gremlins. That was fun.
Anyway.
Mark.
Yeah.
And I love you, Mark, but every once in a while you say something that...
Lion King's fantastic. Lion King is a classic, okay?
Lion King is amazing. I had a film teacher at University of New Mexico that said she hadn't watched Lion King. And I'm like, everybody in the class was like,
how are you teaching film?
Lion King. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But
that's like teaching film and not and that's like teaching a film class without having seen Rosebud.
Yeah.
What's the movie called?
Oh, you're right. It's not called Rosebud. What the heck is it called?
Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane. There you go.
No. Citizen Kane is not a great movie.
Oh, shut up. Shut up, David.
Fantastic.
It's a good movie. Are you kidding me?
It's a little long. But the techniques used to make that movie are friggin' tastic.
I have no nostalgia attached to it. I watched Citizen Kane for the first time 5 years ago, and I cried. It's a fantastic movie, David. You have no idea what you're talking about.
I do know what I talk about. I studied it.
Well,
I studied film. I went to school for film. Thank you very much.
So did your professor.
Okay, that's fair.
How could you say Citizen Kane is not a good movie? It is a fantastic movie.
I like it. It's a little bit long.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest movie ever made, which is what it is, but it's fantastic.
But a lot of film majors think
it's not that long.
The best movie ever made. It's a little long for what it is, but it is beautifully made. The techniques used to make the film are fantastic,
phenomenal,
and it's a wonderful study piece to learn filmmaking technique.
It's a good morality play too. It's under 2 hours. It's a bit longer for a film of that time.
Sure.
Oh, Mark. Ugh.
See, there you go, Mark.
It's the message of the film is that money can't buy happiness.
You're right. and I like that. And it's
It's
a good film.
it's
a good
really
premise.
good.
It's a little bit long for that one little message. It's just
Let's
especially
discuss
the middle
It's a
part,
Wonderful
not
Life.
long.
Okay, It's a Wonderful Life is a better film than Citizen Kane.
A Wonderful Life is a masterpiece.
And I like Citizen Kane, but yeah, It's a Wonderful Life could possibly be one of the greatest films ever made. So
Yeah.
don't follow this up with a stupid comment, Mark. Anyway, the point of the story is that Mufasa, the 3 for 3 on dislikes. Ooh, wonderful, man. That's okay. It's a Wonderful Life.
What was the first one? There was Citizen Kane. Oh, The Lion King, right? Lion King, Citizen Kane, and Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life is fantastic. Wow. You don't have a heart.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you've seen the old one that used to air on TV that cut out all the angel stuff, which I don't know how you can tell the story without
the ending of the story.
Yeah, but
okay.
But yeah, there's a version because half of the movie is narrated by the angels telling his story, right?
Right.
And then it all comes together when he tries to end himself on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. I've never.
There's a TV edit that takes out all of that, and it's just the story from his perspective the whole time. I'm like,
that's awful.
That ruins it.
That's completely awful. That'd be like
I don't like the angels talking with God about.
That would literally be that would life. Be almost as bad as telling a Christmas Tale. But skipping the 3 ghosts of Christmas past. A Christmas Carol, sorry, not Christmas Tale. That'd be almost as offensive as telling a Christmas Carol from the perspective of, from a third person perspective, not from Ebenezer Scrooge's perspective. So the movie starts with Ebenezer Scrooge, firing everybody and being a jerk, and then he goes to sleep. And then it cuts to the next morning, and Merry Christmas! God bless us, everyone! Give me that tiny... And he's nice. That'd be like skipping the entire point of A Christmas Carol.
Yep.
I've never seen White Christmas because I'm not a racist. Okay? I watched POC Christmas.
White Christmas is good, but again, it's another one that's overrated.
Okay.
People praise it as the best thing since sliced bread.
I have not watched it, though.
It's fun. It's a good one.
Fun fact, though, that is not the where the song White Christmas comes from. It's the second movie where it comes from. The first movie, the White Christmas, was first released. It was first aired in a movie called The Holiday Hotel, which came out like a year before White Christmas with basically the same cast.
I didn't know.
Haven't seen either. I just know things. Okay. Once again.
It's like the third time you've tried to read this headline, and it's just a headline. It's not an article.
It's called Holiday Inn. I thought it was called Holiday Hotel. It could be called Holiday Inn. Okay. You might be right. The point of the story is that Mufasa, the Lion King, opened to 35 million domestically. And the original remake in 2009 opened to 191 million. Not
like a sixth of
a good wrong time and day. People are preparing for Christmas. No, didn't say the magic word. No. Because they saw Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog made twice as much domestically.
Wow.
And it's hasn't even opened. There is no global box office. And it's about the same number.
Wow.
So people are seeing Sonic the Hedgehog. I was going to see it this week with my son, and we had too many other things to do, so I'm going to take him, maybe see it Christmas Eve or on
Do they
Christmas.
still do the discounted tickets on Tuesday, even though it's Christmas Eve?
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll take him this week.
Nice. I've been hearing good things.
Yeah, I've heard it's the best one of the three. And this is the last one, Jim. That they're already writing or they're preparing for a fourth one, but this is the last one Jim Carrey's in.
Yeah.
So, how's Craven doing? Don't know. Don't care. Haven't seen it. I liked Morbius. Cool. Good for you. Troll. Such a troll. Yeah.
The
So
only one in the series you've seen, though.
The Lion King almost made $2 billion, which is gross to me. Like
And
that makes me want to vomit.
It
But
flatlined though.
but
at the end,
well, that's after. This
I know,
is-
but
this
look
is
at
to
the-
current day, David. This is no, it's
no, it's
no,
not.
never mind.
That's
No,
the
that's the
opening.
entire run. But the movie's always flatline at this stage. This is really good performance. But this makes me want to vomit, and this makes me want to cry tears of joy. Baby. Beautiful. What a beautiful thing. I'm proud to be an American. Where
Now,
at least I know.
Had
I'm
this
free.
come out before the live action, this might have been an interesting take.
It would still be pretty gay, I think.
We'll see.
Anyway, that makes good news. Good news.
Wow.
Good news. More news.
What? What the hell is that, bro?
Well, let me explain what it is, David. It's DC Comics is releasing a Harley Quinn fan art, an official art. DC Comics is releasing a Harley Quinn fart-themed comic next year. A full 32 pages dedicated to Harley Quinn farting. This is a real thing.
What?
Good news. It's only $6, David.
Oh, count me in.
I will be adding this to my collection of what's so
Degenerate.
ironic.
Fart jokes were funny 10 years ago. And they
David,
weren't
David,
really that funny.
David. I think you're barking up the wrong tree here.
Yeah, I fully understand what
It's
tree.
It's not about. I don't think it's about fart jokes, David. It's a sexual thing.
Yeah,
Which is,
it's still weird.
yeah. If your fetish is farts, you have problems. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's a reason butt plugs exist. Really proud of that one. Farts are gross, and they're not a turn on. Apparently, some people have a fart fetish. And what's so ironic about this is that they kicked out all of the they kicked the regular people out of comics with this same argument. You're just using comics as a fetish to draw women, for your sexual gratification. You can only draw busty women. You only draw comics that appeal to men. Okay. What's this?
That's a good point.
What the hell is this?
Same thing with the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy animated show that they were doing, and the Scooby Doo show. It's just nasty, disgusting,
here's the thing.
degenerate fetishes.
You're not even wrong. I think that a lot of people did use comics as their fetishes. Okay? A lot of people did objectify women in comics. Not the majority. But to kick out everyone because of a few bad eggs and then replace them with, this is like the standard now.
Yeah.
I would say you're not any better than them, but that's giving you too much credit. You are significantly worse.
Yep.
This is revolting. Yeah, I don't even want to scroll. I'm too scared to scroll down on this one.
Yeah, that might be safe.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
Dune Prophecy has already been renewed for season 2. I think the last episode aired today.
Yeah, or right now, yeah.
Haven't been watching. I've heard it's okay. I was not a fan of that second episode. Gratuitous sex scene. Hey, if that's your jam, cool. If it's good, let us know. I really wanted this to be better. You know, I was excited for this. It could have been great.
Although there was another article I didn't send to you that brought up exactly what we talked about just watching episode 1 with I don't want to say his name wrong because we always mix him up.
I have not looked up the Tlaxu face dancer scene yet.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, there was an article talking about that Charlie Fimmel, I think, is the actor that plays in Raised by Wolves, and it basically said, hey, he's playing the exact same character as Raised by Wolves, and it's an underrated show that didn't get enough love.
Yeah,
and it was by Screen Rant. I'm like, what?
Wow, Screen Rant based Screen Rant. The best. Not only is it for a good opinion for once, it's the best opinion.
Right.
Anyway, cool. It would have been nice if it was the same, rating value as the movies.
Yeah.
And I wasn't incredibly impressed. I thought the first episode was interesting, intriguing, but it wasn't like, oh man, this is more Dune. It was just like, it's okay, I guess. But cool. It's season 2. I hope it's good. I hope it brings more people to read the books because they're good.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days we'll get VidAngel and we'll filter out all that in Unity.
Also renewed Silo season 3 and 4.
Yep. They're already writing them.
So I assume that's going to cover all 3 books because season 1 has been just book. The first 2 seasons have been just book 1.
Which boggles my mind because I thought the ending of season 1 was a perfect ending for a book.
Nope.
But yeah, that's
that's the first half.
To me,
it's strange. It's not very typical of a book.
Especially
but once you get to the ending, you're like, oh, okay, that's why this was book 1.
Yeah, especially since this season is just like you said, it's been going on and on. It's been good stuff, but not a lot has happened.
Yeah, they stretched out the second half.
Until this last episode, not a lot has happened.
Significantly. And we'll talk about it more in depth, but this episode put all the pieces in place. Put all the pieces in place to properly adapt scenes that I thought that they were just going to abandon from the book.
Yeah.
It fixed literally every single problem I had. It set up in a different way my 2 favorite scenes from the book, which I thought we weren't going to get. Because of how they'd adapted it. But it turns out, hey, this is how you adapt a TV show. If you sometimes you got to move the pieces around. And I was worried that by moving them around, we were going to lose some stuff from the book. And this episode specifically
brings it back.
Brought them all back, and by doing so, they were able to add a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the book, give things more clarity, give things more airtime. In a way that I think the show's been really successful. I think it's a perfect adaptation. So it's not 1-to-1 page, adapted from the book, but it's 100% captured the tone and spirit of the books, and it's about 90% captured the story of the books, and it's expounded exponentially on the world building and stuff.
Yeah.
Still think there were a couple filler episodes in season 1. But it's been pretty dang good.
Season 1 still moved along at a pretty good clip, though.
Yeah.
I never felt like there's a couple times in season 2 I'm like, okay, that was a good episode. We got good stuff, but nothing happened.
A lot of people are saying it's a little bit slow.
Yeah, it is. Very slow.
I don't know. I
It's
see,
good.
and I've kind of felt the opposite as a book reader. The stuff that they've been adding has been interesting to me, and it worried me for a long time. And this episode fixed that. I kind of like the pacing and the stuff that they've been able to add now, knowing that we're still going to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, it is slower than the books for sure, but I think it's adding a lot of depth that will make the ending more impactful.
Good.
What, we're on like episode 5?
I think so. Yeah, I was looking that up.
We're not even like halfway yet,
I forgot.
right? No, hold on. Silo is 10
I think we did
episodes.
episode 6 this week.
No, this is episode 5.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah,
No,
we're
episode 6
halfway.
with
This
barricades.
is halfway.
Episode 6 we watched this week. Unless you're an episode behind. Episode 6, Barricades, came out on Friday. But you're right, though. It does come out on a Thursday night because we watched it Thursday.
Oh, I forgot because we had a week off. Remember, it aired on a different day and then changed.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Wait, no. That's
No,
HBO.
that was HBO. It wasn't this one.
Silo 1.
I don't know what you're smoking, bro.
2. I just accidentally typed. Oh no. Okay, I was looking at Dune Prophecy. Okay, because it's episode 7, so there's 4 episodes left. Yes.
Yes. That's a decent amount of episodes.
Good chunk, yeah. Yeah.
I hate it when series have under 10 episodes, unless it's a limited series, just one season to get the story told. I hate it when there's less than 10 episodes in a season because generally that's not enough to get your story told.
Not to bring up my butt plug joke again, but also to do that, I just remembered that's what I thought that they were for in high school. Everyone, everyone talks about gross things in high school, and you don't always know what they're talking about unless you ask questions. And so when I first heard the term butt plug, I was like, "Oh, does that stop your farts?" That'd be nice if you could just put a plug.
I have one of those. Yeah.
I'm like, I'd wear one to school. That'd be great, and then people wouldn't make fun of me for farting in school. I think it would just make them louder. Anyway, we'll get back to Silo in a bit, but Wheel of Time just announced some casting for season 3, which I would actually be excited about if the show didn't suck completely and utterly. I think this casting is perfect. We got Morghese Tricand. You know who she is, right, David?
Yeah.
And we've got Gawain and Galad. I don't know which is which because I don't know which is which in the books either. I have to look it up. I have to look up every single time. Every single time I think, oh, Gawain and Galad, I have to look up on the wiki. Okay, wait, which one was the White Cloak and then which one was the Warder? I don't remember.
Yeah. That's good casting.
Yeah, I think this one's the White Cloak, which is either Gawain or Galad. Couldn't tell you which one, and this is the one
The Warder
who becomes a warder and is a romantic interest for Egwene.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both potential romantic interests with Egwene,
Right.
but this is the one that gets her.
Spoilers.
You've gotten there.
Yeah. No, I've gotten there.
You've gotten to their make-out scenes.
Oh.
And this guy, this is Lord Gabriel.
Okay.
He's
He's the captain of the guard or something, right?
No,
I don't remember.
I can't tell you who he is because spoilers.
Oh, okay.
He is the person that is dating Queen Morghese when
Okay.
that Matt discovers
Gotcha.
secrets
Yeah.
about,
Okay.
and then things happen in
Sure.
Fires of Heaven. David, what's the finale of Fires of Heaven?
I gotcha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Floor Gabriel.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, that's good casting. If only their screenwriters weren't stupid.
Galad is the racist in Gawain. Okay, so Gawain and Galad. Okay, I need like a moniker to remember. Okay, which ones? Because Galad is the handsome one. They're both handsome, but Galad is more handsome. And Galad is also the half-brother to Rand. Also, spoilers. Oops. Sorry. Gawain and... I don't know. I can't even come up with a moniker. But Mark, like David, he's bad. Okay, Lord Gabriel's a bad guy.
Got it. Yes, I remember.
Anyway, I think it's fantastic casting. It's a shame I hate the show because gotta give them kudos. They're all white.
That's true. Yeah.
I think they were forced into it because they're family members.
Yeah, that would
even though Avienda is described as looking like Rand's cousin, and yet she's black in the show.
Yep.
These people are actually related, so they have to be the same tone.
Well, I mean, they could have changed the father, and the boys have mixed.
Justin Hancock, you're gonna miss the stream, but hey, spend time with family. Yeah. Merry Christmas, man. Enjoy the holidays. It's been fun. David and I just had dinner together, and now we're talking together.
Kids made some gingerbread houses.
I burnt my finger. I have a giant blister.
Yeah.
From the melted sugar, putting the gingerbread houses together. This is the most excruciating. I've burned myself on melted sugar before making gingerbread houses. This one fused to my skin, and I couldn't get it off. Like if you burn yourself, yeah, you can cool it, and it's uncomfortable. This was the most I've got a tiny little burn on my finger. The most excruciating pain that would not go away for 4 hours. I had to have ice on this little finger burn for 4 hours, and the second I would take it away, my entire body started throbbing, and not the good kind of throbbing. Okay? This hurt so bad. Ouch. Anyway.
Yeah.
They'll probably be on Conan later. I might pull it up. Who knows? Who knows? I need to get real work done, though. Okay?
I know. I didn't edit another video this week because I was playing freaking Conan.
I didn't even play Conan this weekend. I need to pull it back up. Unless Friday counts. Does Friday count as the weekend?
Counts as the weekend. It was after work.
I don't work, David.
Well, that's true. I work.
Yeah.
It was after my work.
I applied to a job. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. I'd have to get a really good offer to switch, because we have too many kids. We need someone home with the kids. So I'd have to make significantly more than my wife makes now, which is a big lump of money. It's the only reason I'm saying that.
Bro.
It's embarrassing to me how much money she makes. So if I get this job offer, we'd probably have to move. But anyway,
which sucks. You just finished your kitchen.
I know. I just remodeled our kitchen, and it looks so good. And then I immediately applied for a job that would make us have to move.
Your house is awesome, but the
probably won't get it. It's fine.
Yeah, the kitchen was the one part of your house that I did not envy. You did not have a great kitchen. Yep. Everything else about your house is awesome, and now you guys have an awesome kitchen too.
Yep, it's pretty great. It's a pretty great house.
Great house.
I definitely didn't pay for it. My wife did. So, we'll get back into Silo in a bit. And we also watched a couple episodes of this of Secret Level on Amazon.
Level, yeah.
And we specifically wanted to watch the Pac-Man episode. And David, you pointed out that the reason that they did the Pac-Man episode so weird is because they also made a Pac-Man game.
Yeah.
Based on the weird Pac-Man episode.
Yeah.
And they're promoting the game through the show. And
It wasn't bad.
The Pac-Man
little
episode was my favorite one.
It was a little weird. The ties to Pac-Man itself about you have
loved
to
it.
eat or be eaten. That was a little bit weird.
And we clowned on it. We laughed the whole time.
Yeah.
The Pac-Man episode was my favorite one. I don't know if I love the aesthetic of the game. Some of these stills look okay. I don't know if I love the artwork. It just seems kind of meh, you know. But I'll give it a shot. This one,
yeah, some of the
this one in
sprites look
particular,
really realistic, and then some of them look more cartoony. And it's a really
this still in particular looks really cheap, and it's not exciting. But okay.
And it's an official Pac-Man game. It's made by Bandai Namco or whatever. Makes Pac-Man.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looks like it could be fun. I don't know. It's weird. I would not associate with Pac-Man, but you know.
But yeah,
it's Pac-Man.
Again, and seeing the trailer, it didn't look very Pac-Man-y. But after watching it, you're like, okay, yeah, no, like this is clearly Pac-Man inspired, Pac-Man adjacent, and there were lots of parallels there.
Well,
and I was actually impressed with how much it correlated to a stupid game where you eat balls and there's ghosts.
Yep.
In fact, my favorite line was the "You cannot kill a ghost," and she's like, "Yes, you can."
He said, "You cannot eat a ghost.
You cannot eat a ghost. No, you can't kill a ghost, and you can't eat a ghost." And he's like, "You can kill a ghost, just never the eyes."
Yeah.
And I was like, because you eat the ghost and the eyes go back. I was like, ooh, that was a cool line. That was a really cool line.
And then there was the
ghosts turned out to just be like
the big gorillas with a
gorilla guys, which is kind of cool.
On their face.
And I love the aesthetic of the when the Pac-Man thing like goes into the guy's back and just like, oh boy, like it was so friggin' cool.
Good, but I don't know, and I do like the concept of respawning and trying again. It's not really
the best, when he gets defeated and then the Pac-Man starts banging its head against the exit and he's like, repetition makes improvement. Repetition, it's so freaking cool. I love every second of that.
It was okay, but it looked amazing. Basic. Some of the things that they did to tie in there was kind of like, okay, that was kind of dumb. Like they kept mentioning, oh, you're stuck in a labyrinth and you have to get out of the labyrinth, and it's this big, wide, expansive, open world. I'm like, okay, that could have made sense if you showed that they were in some labyrinthian tunnels and there's a bunch of monsters in there, but it's just this big, wide open thing. Like, why?
It's a big labyrinth, David.
It wasn't a labyrinth. It was a big, wide open world.
Yeah, I'm not trapped in here. You are.
But anyway,
really cool stuff. I loved that episode. I think it was my favorite one. The Warhammer one was pretty dope. I don't even think there's anything to discuss. It was really fun.
It was nice visually, and it was good. They all looked amazing. The ones that I've seen.
I think I liked the start. One. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons one was really good and also a cop out.
Yes.
We're not going to even attempt to tell a story here. It's just going to...
That was the most...
But, man, it looked fantastic. When it opened up on the guy's eye, and you're like, this is CG, this is animated. Good. Holy crap! Like, we are close.
The Warhammer one had
like we are still in the uncanny valley, but we are on the other side of the valley. Like we are ascending the other side of the cliff of the uncanny valley. Like that looked incredible. And there was a couple, when it cut out to the faces, we're still not there on the faces yet, but
the lips.
But oh boy, we are getting up that valley.
Yeah. And the Dungeons and Dragons one specifically, I loved the beginning, the opening of it.
Yeah.
where they have the entire fight scene from the perspective of this guy in a cage.
Yeah, really
I
good.
thought that was a really
That was
interesting
clever.
way of doing it. It looked amazing. But yeah, I agree. I think with that one, specifically that one, I think was the worst offender.
This is a
And then
cop
little
out
bit with
story-wise.
Warhammer
I know you're going
40K.
to say Warhammer, and I disagree with you completely.
I said not as much as the Dungeons and Dragons one, but I thought they were both unsatisfying because they didn't.
Oh, I disagree.
Really wrap up
I disagree.
The story there.
They wrapped up it was a suicide mission, David.
Yeah, I get that.
And so they left it open ended because you're like, well, I mean, yeah, he's probably going to die, but.
Right.
That's the point. That was the point of the story. The point of the story was they finished the mission, and so it no longer mattered if he survived.
Right.
But
that's why I liked the Warhammer one better, because it ended like, okay,
he could just give up and die because that was the point.
Right.
But he's going to keep fighting anyway, and that was the entire point of the story. So for you to call it unsatisfying just proves you're completely illiterate when it comes to your media literacy is embarrassing, David.
That's what I'm saying. That one was more satisfying than the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I agree. The Dungeons and Dragons one was fantastic and refused to tell a story. And you're like, well, this would have been awesome if it was the whole show was this.
Yeah, and
you actually told a cool story. And you're like, but even then, if you did that, then this one wouldn't have been as awesome because then you'd have to actually answer questions. But man, the shot of the dragon becoming corrupted, and when it like falls over backwards on that like mound, and like his back like snaps in half, and then you get like chest burst, like, ooh, that looked fantastic. Yeah. But yes, the first one was really, really good. Unsatisfying. I completely disagree that the Warhammer 40K was unsatisfying. That was the entire point of the story, and David's just a dum-dum, and it looked beautiful. I still think Astartes was better. I'd have to go back and rewatch that. The fan made, and maybe they got the same guy to do this because it seemed very similar. David, go look up Astartes on YouTube.
Oh, right, the Warhammer fan made Astartes.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
It was better than this, but still real good. See, there you go.
I'm just saying it was more satisfying.
David, we know what you're saying. David, we got it. We know what you're saying. It's just dumb.
I'm saying it's
what, David?
To a lesser degree.
We got it. We got what you said. It's just that what you said was really stupid.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, and then I loved the Pac-Man. Pac-Man one was my favorite one. I also watched the one right after Dungeons and Dragons, the Sealoo or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was an interesting premise, a short story, and it completed the story, and it was really fun. I started watching the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and I didn't finish because my kid came home and it was really violent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's lots of blood splatters on a lot of these ones, especially Warhammer one. That was excessive.
Warhammer, but it was goopy. It was like goopy blood. It was fun.
Yeah, that part.
The glow in the dark scene was
that was good, and the like eldritch monstrosity thing where he comes and like goes into their brain and liquefies it, and then they just bleed out their armor. That was really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark.
Anyway, so the other episode.
Sorry, Mark. Oh, it's not showing up. It's not. It's on. I can see it on
YouTube.
YouTube.
There it is. Nice.
Mark Clark donated $1.99 to break the $100 ceiling because on the stream it's still showing he donated like $98.
Nice.
Again, it says
$99.99.
Well, see, I don't know what it was at, but again, I don't know where they're counting from, but that's the top donor of all time.
Yeah.
But you've definitely given more than that, so I don't know. I don't know where YouTube is counting from, or maybe not. Maybe you've only given that much. Maybe
it's just counting the super chats and not the subscriptions.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It probably doesn't factor in channel memberships.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, so the other episode we watched was Concord.
Thank you, Mark Clark.
Because you have to watch Concord.
Was there? Hold on.
It's part of the Concord universe.
Yeah, let me pull up. Let me make sure there wasn't a secret level.
There's some other ones that I wanted to watch, but I know
I'm probably gonna go back and watch all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. There was.
They all looked amazing.
Yeah, the New World was the one with Arnold Braunschweiger in it. I didn't finish watching that one. I watched Warhammer 40K, Pac-Man. Sifu is episode 2 that I watched. It was pretty cool. I haven't seen Armored Core yet or Outer Worlds.
I really want to watch Outer Worlds and Mega Man and Spelunky.
Spelunky. And yeah, I think the last one I watched was Concord, which I was actually surprised by.
Yeah.
The
beginning
was actually pretty good.
The beginning was really, really good.
It started off pretty great. And then by the end of the episode, I wanted to die.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It was pretty bad.
I do agree with some of your criticisms. We were chatting a little bit before. The
intro heist is legitimately good. It's fantastic. My main criticism, I can't stand the character design. I think, and then they look ridiculous, and the color scheme is obviously Pride stuff. They look silly, and I didn't like any of the characters. And then they started talking, and it got worse.
Yeah, the one like axolotl-ish, whatever thing.
The captain was the most insufferable character.
Yeah. Yeah, she was kind of annoying, and it was weird how
the axolotl was
out of nowhere.
Weird too. The sniper guy was okay. He was Asian or something. And the only interesting character was, of course, the straight white man who turns out to be the bad guy. He was the only one of them that had like a personality that wasn't insufferable.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot of character development in a 20-minute episode.
Sure, but he was the only one that didn't annoy me. And of course, he betrays them all because he's a straight white man. I'm like, okay, we get it. Great. But yeah, it's the
Asian man.
The heist started off really good, and where it started sucking was when they took off in the spaceship, and then the captain just appears inside the spaceship, but in a police uniform,
and had gotten
without any explanation.
Yeah, they thought they lost the captain, and so they abandon her and leave, and then somehow
they thought she was dead because she fell off of a cliff.
Yeah.
And so they leave, and then she shows up, and she's going to arrest us, but no, it's the captain. And then she gets mad at the pilot. Oh, who is driving my ship? But it makes no sense because you had those two people. No, you had the one guy back at the ship standing guard as a lookout, watching for anyone incoming. And yet she got there before that, not as herself, but dressed in a police uniform. So she got past the lookout for the ship in a uniform that should have flagged the lookout, and she's just alive for no reason because trans power. Who gives a crap? Whatever.
Yeah, that part.
It was really stupid. And then the more it went on, the more insufferable it got. And of course, the straight white guy is the bad guy. And the betrayal was so obviously coming.
Yeah.
Nothing about it was special after that. And then they're like, hey, can we fly a ship without any wings?
Yeah.
No. Like, okay. And their plan was to just suicide into the it was just dumb. It was a really dumb plan. And then the airlock thing was stupid too.
I thought that was fine.
Because they're all handcuffed. The only reason they didn't fall out is because they were handcuffed. Because the void of space isn't also a danger. But then the bad guy stabs his knife into the ground, but then he gets sucked out anyway. And he'd fallen pretty far away from the guy who who is handcuffed up, and then it cuts to the handcuffed guy, and he has the guy's knife, even though it would be literally impossible for him to have reached the knife. And then he cuts his other. You're like, this is just stupid.
Yeah. I didn't catch that at all.
And
you're right, though.
It was just dumb. I really, really did not like the end of that one. And
Yeah,
I liked the beginning of it.
I thought it was dumb that they just jumped into the nebula, but I thought how they brought it back in the end that they may have survived somehow.
And then after thinking about it, the world building itself is retarded.
I disagree with you there.
The fact
they
that
explain it. They explain it in the cold open.
They explain it, and it's retarded.
No,
David, there is a mega corporation that controls all of the trade routes.
No, you misunderstood that. There's different corporations that control different trade routes, and this was a map of all the trade routes together that they got that they released to everybody.
No, the premise of the world building is explained in the episode that there is a mega corporation, and it's not that they own the trade routes. They are the only people who know the trade routes. They're the people who discovered how to travel through space faster than light, right? Because the problem with the intro was funny with the whole traveling faster than light is super dangerous because you don't know if you're going to end up in the middle of a planet, whatever,
right?
Or that was funny. It was clever,
right? Which is why you need to know where the safe routes to travel
David,
light speed are.
How are trade routes discovered? By explorers.
Yes.
Which
is why
in what universe, in what world is it physically possible for one corporation to it's not that they were guarding the trade routes. They're the only people who know that the routes exist. That can't happen.
Yeah,
that's not how routes are discovered. That's not
how I read it. I read that there was.
Well, you read it wrong. Again, the media literacy thing is coming back into play.
It said that there were several different corporations that owned different parts of the trade routes, and they were going to steal a map that had an amalgamation of all the different trade routes.
Own a trade route,
right? If you don't know where it is, know that they exist, but you don't know where the safe way to travel through space is without hitting space debris.
Okay,
it makes perfect sense.
It doesn't make sense that no one else has discovered how to travel through space. What's the premise?
It didn't say that.
It does. It did. It said they weren't looking up they were looking up maps.
Yeah.
David, it makes no sense. What's the entire premise of the best show this year?
What?
Shogun. What's the entire premise of Shogun? Portugal has a trade route to Japan, and they were the first ones to find a route to Japan, and so they are profiting off of Japan because they have an exclusive trade route. And what's the first episode, David, is an intrepid explorer charting his own trade route to Japan so that he can also capitalize on Japan.
Right. You
can't own an idea.
Right. Which is why lots of different corporations.
It wasn't. It was one mega corporation.
Okay. That's not how
they said one entity. They are the only entity in the universe that knows how to travel through space. It's some of the worst world building I've ever heard.
If that's really
it's nonsensical.
It makes sense, but
that's nonsense.
I thought it was different.
Even if it was different, it wouldn't matter because there would be individuals who have balls and explore on their own. You cannot own a trade route. You could. You can, but it's impossible to keep it secret.
Right.
Even if you keep it as secret as physically possible, you cannot stop other people from exploring routes.
Correct.
That can't exist in real life. Now, it's a different story if there's only one safe passage. If they built like a Panama Canal, and they're guarding the canal, and the only way to get through the continent is through the canal, and the big bad capitalism is the villain of the piece too. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It would make sense if the big bad capitalists had armies and tanks guarding the Panama Canal.
In which
And
case,
and you could go around the entire continent, or you could go through it, but you have to pay your tribute to the evil Panama Canal Corporation. That would make sense. And that's not what this was, and it was retarded. Maybe Mark Clark for $5. Maybe they killed anyone that did find an alternate route. I guess, like you can't kill the human spirit though.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
I don't know.
If you keep it secret, you also have to keep it safe. Yes, and Portugal for a long time had exclusive access to Japan until brave explorers found their way, and then the second that they did, Portugal's secret was worthless.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right, but I think what they're implying is that exploring on your own is dangerous because of the reasons they specified you.
And how did the mega corporation do it? They did it dangerously. You cannot kill the human spirit. There will always be people willing to traverse the void.
Yes,
there will always be Elon Musk
died on asteroids,
willing to die on asteroids and die on Mars because they want to push the envelope. We do it because it's there.
There were several people that did that and died on asteroids, slamming.
Yes,
and
yet somehow the only people that ever survived all belong to one entity is bull crap. Like the fact that they could obtain this mega corporation to begin with makes no sense. And the fact that they've maintained the mega corporation makes even less sense. Do you hear the people sing? They're pretty dead. Okay. Right. So leave Portland.
Yeah. Mark Clark.
Anyway, aside from unlikable characters, my favorite part about the D&D episode was the dwarf character. When the right after the first fight, and everyone's like, "Oh, we don't know if we can trust him. It looks like he's working for the enemy," and the dwarf is just sitting back there like,
yeah.
He was clearly like just with zero emotion. Like I loved his delivery. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? He was marked for sacrifice. Probably means that they were going to sacrifice him, not that they were his friends. I loved that line delivery. It was really good.
Yeah, you're right. That was good.
Anyway, that was Secret Level. I enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy that episode. Even though it started off kind of fantastic. And then sucked. And then sucked even harder. And then kept sucking.
Yeah. But I'm interested to try the other ones. So
yeah, no, I'm going to watch them all.
Again,
for sure.
all of them have been visually stunning.
Yeah. Even Concord. Except for the character designs, which were vomit-inducing.
Just a couple of them. Not all of them.
Every single one except for the white guy.
Sniper was good.
Oh, the Sniper was cool too, sorry.
And the pilot.
No. No. That was the white guy, the pilot.
Oh, right. I thought there were two white guys, but...
Nope. There was a black guy, a Chinese guy, an axolotl, and a trans woman.
Yeah. Mark Clark. It went from suck to blow.
Good old-fashioned suck and blow. Silo was pretty great. I still really don't like her acting, the butch lesbian character, but it's now confirmed she's not a butch lesbian because she's kissing boys. It's just, everything about her character screams, butch sci-fi lesbian.
Yeah.
Right. Especially her delivery. I don't think she's gotten better as an actor, but she's gotten less insufferable as a character Surprise, surprise, because she started dating a guy. Like, but that is fixing. It's rearranging a plot that I thought was going to be lost, which can serve. It's absorbed 2 characters into one, which will work fine for what should happen. Yeah. And I think it'll be really good, actually. Might even be better than the books, because
the other issue was
even though it was one of my favorite moments from the book, you were less invested in the character when it happened. And now if depending on what they do, you could be more invested with the character. And I think it might work better. It might be it might be an improvement on the book. We'll have to see.
Wow.
I'm not saying that it is. Okay.
And then the other issue that this episode fixed.
It was the shadow thing.
The shadow, yeah.
Yeah, and I as soon as they brought him back, I was like, okay, I think they're doing
it is still a little bit clunky though. They're like, okay, we're gonna send you off to the mines, and it's gonna be 10 years. Oh, never mind, it's gonna be 5 years, and we're gonna give you some trust, but
right. And the mayor's like weird flip flopping with her motivations. You're like, I genuinely don't understand what this character even wants.
Exactly. And
she's like, oh, you want to know about the stars? You want to? Okay, I'm gonna arrest you. It's like, I don't even know what you're doing.
And then it's been a little bit of the same with Bernard too. It's like, hey, I need you to fix this.
No, Bernard's been pretty consistent.
Fix this thing. Well, yeah, but he's not.
He's a brutalist. He's
not giving him the shadow job because he's going to be good at it. He's doing it out of necessity.
Yes,
because he needs to divulge.
No, that's his character.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like it's consistent. Like it's consistent with the books. It's consistent with the TV show. Like he's
It just
he's just completely practical. Ends justify the means, and okay, all right, you're gonna be my shadow because you're the only one that can fix this thing. Like it's I think it's very appropriate.
And I liked how he brought it up too. He's like, other people can fix this, probably better than you can.
But you're going to want it more.
But you're going to do it because you want to not be in the mines for 5 years and not make it out, right? So I thought that was good.
I did like the line where he's like, "It's what's it called? It's called a something cipher." By the way.
Oh yeah.
Like what is? Oh, what you're doing? Why? It's too hard to explain.
It's a Caesar cipher, I think.
It's called a Caesar cipher, by the way. What? What you're doing? It's called a Caesar cipher. Yeah. What's that? We'll do it. I thought it was fantastic.
One thing that I don't know if it makes sense in this world is the head of IT guys and their shadows or whatever. They seem to have like all of the knowledge of pre-silo life they seem to know everything from lots of different fields that are it's not practical knowledge, but they still know about it and like have it memorized for some reason. And I just think that's a little bit weird.
All right, bro. I'm not even going to attempt your name. Kama Sutra. But asking to a bunch of lives, have you read the Divine Comedy? So far, I've received all no. I have read part of Inferno. I have read a lot of it. I have not read all of the Divine Comedy, I hate telling the truth. I would like to lie to you and say that I've read all of it. I will read it before I die, but I haven't read all of it. And I'm ashamed that I haven't read all of it.
I've studied it a lot, though. I've
yes.
read lots of excerpts.
Dante's cool.
Dante is amazing.
Cool yeah. Gather those statistics, babe. Get them good. Yeah. I have read a lot of classics, though. I've read Don Quixote in English and Spanish. That's my claim to fame. It was hard. It was rough. I loved it, but man, it was tough. That was a tough read. I've read a bunch of stuff in Spanish and English, of classic stuff that most people haven't gotten to Divine Comedy all the way. Sorry, I wish I had better news for you. You doing research? Yeah, do that research. I figured that's what it was. Cool. Have you read Divine Comedy though? Now we got to shine the spotlight back at you, and shame you. Have you read the Iliad? Have you read the Odyssey? Have you done all of your homework?
Have you read The Naked Communist?
Have you read The Naked Communist? Have you read the Great Gatsby? Have you read Grapes of Wrath? It's my favorite poem. I have. I've read a Beowulf. And I've read what's the other big one I've read? I don't know. Anyway,
Huckleberry Finn.
that one's an easy read though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fun. Yeah, there's lots of N words in it.
It's important classic literature though.
Yes, yes, no. Okay, I don't even remember what order I asked him in. Mark Clark has read the Divine Comedy, but he read the levels of hell out of order.
That's just Inferno though. He read Inferno, then then Paradise, then Purgatory.
Yeah, but he didn't go through the levels of hell. He didn't go through them in order though. He started in the middle. He started at the 5th level of hell, and then went to the 2nd level of hell. And he bounced around the different levels of hell. It's an inside joke you probably wouldn't understand unless you've been watching our show for a very long time.
Mark Clark always reads books out of order.
He didn't know it. He didn't know it. He accidentally read it out. Read Frankenstein. That's a good one. Frankenstein.
That's fantastic.
That's a classic.
That was one of my favorite sections of literature when we did Gothic literature. Read Frankenstein, Dracula. The Canterbury Tales was shortly after.
Canterbury Tales is fantastic.
It's not really Gothic, but it was in the same class that I read all the Gothic stuff on. That was a fun class.
I don't know. I hope that counts as a yes, but it's technically a no.
The thing you don't like is Dante constantly
praising himself. Yeah. Yeah, that was the style back then. You had to be proud of yourself, man. It's a good story. Anyway, Silo. One of Mark Clark's favorite books is Crime and Punishment because he likes to punish himself. See, he's a masochist. Only masochists read Moby Dick. Man, I don't know how.
That book is really dry.
I don't get how that one became a classic, man.
It's at sea and it's dry. Go figure.
Well, you can't drink seawater, so
there you go.
It'll dehydrate you. Anyway, Silo's been pretty dang good.
Yeah. I think
they're finally getting to the building up the action and
two. Like you said, we already talked about how they fixed a lot of the issues.
Yeah, every single problem that I'd brought up, aside from some of the filler episodes in season 1, where they're like, okay, you did this so that you could pad the runtime a little bit, and it made your characters look a little bit silly.
Yeah. Aside
from those, all of my complaints about season 2 have been fixed in one episode, or just because. And I kind of really like how they did that. They made me wonder how they were going to tell the story, and they moved a lot of pieces around. They changed a lot of things, but still managed to get the same story in place. And I think it's actually quite impressive.
Yeah,
to do that. And I think that's how you have to adapt books to TV, right? Because the very fact that it's episodic means you have to end each episode in an interesting place. You have to get people wanting to come back. And when it comes to adaptation, I don't think that writers should exist. I don't think you should have writers,
a team of writers
on a team. I think that shouldn't be a job for a TV adaptation. What you need is editors, and frequently what you need, you have to trim the story down, or in this case, make it a little bit longer, actually. At least for seasons 1 and 2, they might have to trim a lot from seasons 3 and 4,
Yeah.
since they have 2 books to finish. Right? I think for the most part, you have to decide what to cut, and then because you have to cut stuff, you have to rearrange a lot of things so that you don't see the seams. And I think the show does a really good job of making a lot of changes and yet still telling the same story. I got to give a lot of credit. I think it's a perfect adaptation.
And there was something in episode or the season 1 too that you made the same comment. You changed something and you were worried about the adaptation. I don't remember what it was. They said they made some change and you were worried about it, but then they fixed it in the
they did.
finale or something.
Well, they fixed it in season 2, and
that's right.
There are lots of things that we're like, I don't know how that's going to work if you're making this change, and it turns out it does work, and in some cases it might even work better. So, it's a tricky art. Like I'm not saying it's an easy job. I'm just saying you don't need a writer. You don't need to write your own stuff. You need a good editor,
right,
to make a TV adaptation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you do need a writer, but you don't need a team of writers working together, because that's oftentimes too many cooks in the kitchen type of thing. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we already talked about the good stuff they did with the hard drive rewriting with Bernard in the Shadow. I don't even remember his name. What's the guy's name? The Stargazer guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, the Shadow.
Liam. That's wrong.
But I really liked the blockade.
Blockade was cool.
Everything that they did to push the blockade up a couple floors.
I still don't understand Sim's wife's character. Like I don't know what she's doing.
Right, exactly. And she again in this episode seems
her
like
choices just don't make sense.
Right again, it's like, well, just let them fail, and then they'll realize that you did the job better or something. I'm like,
I don't know what she wants or who she's working for. Like none of her actions have made any sense.
I guess the only thing that makes sense is she's helping them because she wants it to fail to show that her husband did a better job of it. But Bernard already knows that she helped him. She told.
It doesn't make sense.
So anyway.
That's the aside from the other lady's acting.
Yeah,
her motivations are the other weak link of the show.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make sense. But I liked what they were doing with the cable, or the cable was last episode, wasn't it?
They did. There was a cable in this one too.
But then they got the cement saw and sawed up through the floor to attack him from the other direction, which was smart. And then and I liked the bit too where the guys with guns showed up and they're like, you can take maybe 10 of us out, but we're still
all gonna die.
You're dead, right? I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
what if we want and nobody has to die? Okay.
Yeah. And
that was really good.
Yeah, they're still changing a lot from the books. Like stuff is happening. It's almost the same stuff. It's happening in similar ways, but different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the other good stuff was the sheriff.
Yeah, that's all added stuff.
Yeah,
and I like it.
I thought it was good though. He found out where they are, and
Juliet's dad, whose name I again couldn't tell you.
His scenes are some of the best this season.
He is just chewing up the scenes he's in.
He's
a great actor.
Episode, his scene with Bernard last episode was
phenomenal.
So good. It was amazing.
You may be able to bury her. You can bury her legacy. You can defame her and defraud her, and you can make the silo think whatever you want about my daughter. But the one thing you can't do is change how I feel about my daughter.
Yeah,
so good. Great line.
But yeah, it was really good. I also really liked everything that happened with Juliet and Solo. As you found out that he wasn't who he says he is, and he's like, "I'm the Shadow." And he freaks out on her. That was really good. It was kind of weird how quickly from the last episode to this one she was falling over and completely losing it because of infection. And
well, it implied some time had passed.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was kind
like
of
she wasn't even in this episode.
Where did she get that wound on her arm? I don't even remember.
I think it was when she
feet?
was doing that first diving thing. She got stuck and cut her arm when she was climbing, or something like that.
It was before that.
Maybe it was when she was making the bridge and she fell.
Yeah. They showed in a shot her arm wounded, and I'm like, I don't remember where that happened. And it kept cutting back to it several episodes. I'm like, I don't remember her getting hurt in the first place. But
yeah. Mark Clark, you already know how I feel about this. Rebecca Ferguson is the perfect woman, so she can Bene my Jesuit any day she wants. Sydney Sweeney's hot too, but I take Rebecca Ferguson over Sydney Sweeney.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, really good episode. I don't think there's anything else
that I wanted
to bring up, but
it's been fun. I'm looking forward to next week. Except next week we also have to watch the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Oh, please no.
Yes.
Please,
yes.
Oh. Okay.
And I'll be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 3 if I ever get to the theater to talk about it. So, Nosferatu drops this week too. I probably won't see it for a while, but
the trailer looks really good. But
it looks really good.
The early reviews,
really,
not been great.
Bummer.
I heard one. Well, again, these are critic reviews because it hasn't.
Yeah, but the critics loved his other. They loved The Lighthouse and what was his other one?
It.
He did Northman, right?
Oh,
the same guy?
Director? I don't know.
Robert Eggers. Yeah, he did The Lighthouse and The Witch was the other one, and the Northman and Nosferatu. Yeah, I loved The Northman.
The Witch was overrated.
I haven't seen it.
Like I
haven't seen The Witch or The Lighthouse, and
until the ending was just completely out of character and stupid.
Yeah. But I've heard great things about The Lighthouse. Critics loved that one.
Yeah, and Northman was highly rated too.
And Nosferatu looks dope. It's got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. What are you talking about?
I saw one review, and the headline was Nosferatu looks nice, but it's got no bite or something.
The Lighthouse and Witch suck. All right, well, you didn't like It's a Wonderful Life, so
yeah,
I'll be the judge.
Although I agree with him on Witch.
Witch, yeah.
Parts of it were good, but then it just was. It did not.
But The Northman was awesome. Loved it.
And can't comment on the Lighthouse.
Oh, it's Lily Rose Depp in. No.
Oh, lovely.
And Nosferatu.
I probably won't be seeing Lighthouse now.
No, in Nosferatu is Lily Rose Depp.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu, baby.
Yeah.
It's Kent O'Rourke. It's going to be interesting. Look, even if it sucks, it's going to be an interesting movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
it looks really good.
Yeah. Probably won't have seen it.
Oh, too is
squid sex is all you need to know about The Lighthouse. Oh, gross. Okay.
Yeah, not seen it.
Maybe that's why the critics liked it so much. They dig that kind of stuff, you know. Anyway, yeah. So Lighthouse next week. Elliot's gonna be mad if we don't see Sonic. So we'll definitely be talking Sonic 3 next week. Definitely not be talking about Mufasa next week because I don't want to see that crap. But yeah, so Silo and Doctor Who and Sonic. Baby. Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Please don't make me watch Doctor Who.
David, you have to watch Doctor Who.
I just introduced some of the best episodes of Doctor Who to my kids this week.
You're the one, David.
I don't want the memory of it spoiled.
You watched all of the Jodie Whittaker episodes.
Not all of them. I haven't watched
on your own volition. You said,
Yeah.
I'm a completionist, so I have to keep watching.
Some of them weren't terrible, but most of them were.
Right. Some of them were just garbage instead of terrible.
Yeah. Well, some of them were legit good concepts. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I like what they set up here. And then it's just like, you didn't deliver on anything. This could have been so much better. But yeah.
Oh, they put a bunch of classic Who on YouTube? Rabbit hole, baby.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that's hard to get.
It really is.
Man.
Like I bought all of the new Who from Christopher Echelon all
same.
the way to Peter Capaldi, and the whole thing collection on Blu-ray was like under $50 on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And just one season of Tom Baker's Doctor is like $80.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's insane.
Anyway,
yeah, I need to collect. I have a bunch of old episodes on DVD, but I need to collect a lot more of old classic Who.
Yeah, I need to watch more of it.
Yeah.
There's so many things I need to watch and read,
Yeah.
though. It's just an infinitely growing list of, I hope I get to that eventually.
Yep.
The good news is, though, there's not a lot of new stuff being added to that list.
Yeah.
Because it all sucks, except Silo was pretty good. Hey, we did come full circle on the whole sucking thing. And so that's as good a place as any to end the stream.
Yeah.
So, bye. See you guys next week.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.